Hello and welcome again to Redacted Nuisance, that 12 to 15 minutes of nonsense on Tinternet. Essentially, it is recorded in one take, not edited at all, not played back to. I then upload it straight onto the podcast, schedule it in, and I hear it when you do. So sometimes I'm like, I might not have said that quite the way that I thought. So, for those who don't know me, hey, I'm Dr. J, use they as a pronoun. Um, I am here on Redacted Nuisance. Why is it called Redacted Nuisance? Well, I would have called it Queer Nuisance, which is an idea and a hashtag that I've used often to describe myself. However, I'm aware of Tinternet, and I'm aware that Queer Nuisance would seem anything that I do blocked from a large number of people, blocked from anyone who was interested in LGBTQ plus stuff and was not able to be out about it. There are some geographical regions where I would be blocked, and I would be less likely to appear on your podcasting feeds or whatever. So I chose the notion of redacted nuisance, and being very clear about the fact that I am being redacted. I am parkouring my way around the system, very much like how people on the TikTok. Oh God, I sound so old. On TikTok, use things like unalived and pew pew and all sorts of euphemisms that have become widely known as ways to get around censorship and of various types. I'm using the word redacted here because it is silencing me, or I'm silencing myself in a way that is very clear that I've been silenced. Think of it as like little black line through the word queer. So what was I going to talk about? I was going to talk about something. I'm going to talk about bodies. So uh, I have been on quite a journey over the last, well, 12 months or so with my body. Not in the way that you would expect, because you're hearing my voice and you're going, this voice is a bit non-binary. This person has identified themselves as they. I'm assuming they're going to be talking about surgery and all kinds of zing, zing, zing moments. I'm not. I'm going to be talking about something quite different. At the start of the year, I weighed a little over 100 kgs, somewhere between 102 and 105 kgs. And although I exercised regularly, once or maybe twice a week, I wasn't able to achieve any weight loss, any real change to my body composition that I could see. And I had developed during COVID, during a period of COVID and lockdown, I'd gone from pre-diabetic into having active type 2 diabetes, which I was struggling to control. So the GP in December last year, who I went to see for something routine, turned around and said, "Oh, probably hormones." Turned around and said, "Hey, look, there's this pathway to remission program, and I think it'd be really good for you." And he tried to sell it to me, and then he hit on the thing that sold it to a working class kid. Just basically, the NHS will pay for your food for 3 months. And I was like, "Oh, you mean all of my food?" And they're like, "Oh yes, total meal replacement for 3 months." And I was like, "Okay, I'll go away, read about it," and I decided to take it on. It took about 4 months. Was April, end of April, I think, when I finally got to start it. That's just because apparently, while my particular postcode was undersubscribed, which is why the GPs were pushing it to anyone who they thought might be a good candidate. In fact, a lot of them were oversubscribed. And you just needed to wait for a slot to open up. So I got on this program and the other thing is I'm allergic to milk proteins, so I had to go on the vegan version, which is slightly more limited than the other version. I've been and had a look at the two menus, and essentially vegans like me, for the 120 something days, so that's 400 and something meals, I had four options. I sometimes had five, but I basically had four options. So I had these four options of these, what would effectively be 800 calories a day, meal replacements, soups and shakes. So there was the orange one, which was an orange soup, uh, which tasted vaguely of carrot. There was the green one, which was a green soup. There was another soup that was a leeks and potato soup. Um, then there was a shake. The only one that I could have was the vanilla shake. And then there was a banana porridge. And that was it. That was all I was allowed to eat for the 120 something days. So the 3 months plus 2 weeks of crossover. Those same four meals, because you'll notice there was five, but after the first month, they ran out of the carrot. So I had 5, 6 packets of carrot, but I managed to last all the way through to the end because it became my Sunday dinner. The fact that a carrot soup became my treat of the week. Um, so I got rid of all the food in my house. I measured out, I got rid of every bit of food that you could find so that there was no temptations. I only had the food that was there. I had some dried lentils and a few bits and pieces. I even I would look at a dried lentil and go, no, there's no way. Um, so I then did this weight loss program for the 12 weeks of eating the same four meals. I would try various spices. There's a whole group of friends who took me through some spice challenges. The one and only time that it messed up was when I put jerk chicken seasoning, too much jerk chicken seasoning into a soup, and had to add a little bit. And when I say a little bit, about half a spoonful, half a dessert spoonful of Greek yogurt, which I had for the cat. Half a spoonful of Greek yogurt in there. By doing this, very extreme, absolutely bonkers meal replacement, I lost 20 kilos in those 12 weeks, or nigh on 20 kilos. It was like 17, and I've since lost the last little bit to get to lose at least 20 kilos. Um, that was hard. That was really hard work. And one of the things is, in doing that and in doing it that strictly, you lose the you lose the hormone that allows you to feel hunger, but that same hormone also allows you to feel full. I wasn't supposed to exercise on those 800 calories a day. I did. Um, I did a little bit more than I was supposed to. I kept up my personal training, and my personal trainer and I met up once a week, and we did some lots of strength training to try to keep some muscle on my body, and just tried to find some stuff that would make my head vibe really good. I would go swimming, and I think I could do half an hour of swimming at a very slow pace. I couldn't do anything else. I couldn't do anything else. And I got through that, came out the other side, and I started to eat food again. And this is more the more important thing. Um, I have completely changed the way that I see food. Completely. And it's very weird to go from somebody who was an emotional eater, would eat my feelings a lot, because I had feelings. Um, I would also find uh, it was something that I was taught as a child, that sweet, mushy food was good, and not to expect flavour. Because of the spice stuff that I was doing during those 12 weeks, I totally developed a hit of savoury. I dreamed for weeks. My first meal was avocado on toast with eggs. And that was one of the most amazing meals because you have to start off with these very small meals and reintroducing food to your body again. And one of the things that they're very worried about on the program is that you won't change your habits and change how you think about food, and you will just bounce the weight back. And I'm lucky in many ways that my brain has just switched over. So I've gone from somebody who was very loved a lot of sweet food, and I also used to eat what I realise now is a lot of ultra high processed food. So while I was vegan or pescatarian, but near vegan, I was eating a lot of meat burgers, meat sausages, or Beyond Meat. I was eating a lot of ultra high processed but vegan versions of things. Whereas now I will, in the meantime, we've done a lot of scans because we were trying to figure out why my diabetes was so out of control. And a lot of it was just my metabolism is whack. And I'm using that in the old sense term. My metabolism is really, really messed up. So I had some scans. My gallbladder has recovered. I can now eat meat. I'm eating a lot of white meat, not eating a lot of red meat. Um, but I'm also eating small portions of meat. Like literally 200 grams is a big portion for me. And when you look at 200 grams of like a pork chop or 200 grams, the butcher that I go to and I ask for a lamb cutlet, and they look at me and I'm like, that's all I can eat is a single lamb cutlet. And they've now understood that that's literally all I can eat, a single sausage, a single piece of bacon. Actually, I do eat the sausage and bacon together, but there's a very, very small amount that I can eat at any point in time. And I tend to eat a lot of vegetables, a lot of salad. My lunches are protein and some salad. Now, I'm going to do a second part to this one because I realize I'm about at 12 minutes and there's actually quite a bit more that I want to talk about. So I'm going to stop here. This is kind of like how we got to this point, more or less, and then I'm going to talk about where I went to from there. So, hey, it's my podcast. I can do what the fuck I like. Um, like there's been any consistency on this damn thing. So this is part one of a two-parter, but they'll be a week apart. So part one is how I lost 20 kilos and what it looks like from the other side, and the other one will be when you lose 20 kilos, what it does to your brain and your body connection, and the things I enjoy now, and the weirdness that I'm finding about that. Who is this person? What did they do? How did this body brain thing? What is going on? And that's kind of definitely going to be part two.